Neil Bahal is founder and CEO of Negen Capital PMS. He's joining us to take some questions. Neil, great to have you back on the program. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Ferocious comeback after a ferocious sell-off last 2 days, Neil. How have you used these last 10 days or so of, should I say, a bit of correction? What have you added? You've told us that you like special situations. We can talk more about that later, but how have you approached this little bit of a fall that we've had?
So, we've been adding shares through the last few days. And, as I said, there is these short-term movements, what happened on Friday or what is happening today, really doesn't make any difference. The number to watch is India's per capita income. And that is going to increase for the next multiple years, maybe 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. So, the more we talk to companies, I get the sense that these companies are super excited to be doing business in India. So I'm thinking like a company owner here and not a renter of stocks. I'm not too much bothered about what happens on a daily basis. So the corrections are, it doesn't matter. In the next 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, the Nifty, the Sensex, the small caps, the mid caps, most of them will be very high. The job of an investor would be to, select good quality companies and keep changing the portfolio from time to time, but remain invested. Keep the SIP going, that for the larger investor base, doing the SIP is all they need to do.
Almost 900 points on the mid-cap index. Now that's one ferocious comeback, almost 75% of Friday's losses taken away. We have Ease My Trip, which has hit the upper circuit of 20%. Poonawalla Film Corp, of course, we've been talking about it all through the day, 14% higher on that one. Prashant pointed out Mazgaon Dock Ship, now 13.5% higher on that counter, along with Garden Reach Shipbuilders. That one too is up around 13% Big moves coming on, individual names. Neil, you said that from a long-term standpoint, of course, the macro tailwinds of India will take the stock markets higher. One's job is only to look at decent companies in sectors which will provide that sort of leadership. What are your thoughts on the sectors that will provide the leadership over the next 5 years? What are you betting on?
So everything consumption related and everything India related. And what you want are companies which will have higher return on capital. So I would not look too much into a steel player. I'll not look at too much into an infrastructure player. I would rather look at a company, who's selling let's say some fans or selling some, burgers or pizzas, those kind of things where the return on capital is much more better. They don't require debt to grow further. And they have a kind of a not a cyclical behavior. They have a more of a structural behavior that as the per capita income grows, these kind of good brands, they will have a growth in their earnings for 5 years and 10 years and so on. You need to have companies in the portfolio who don't need to worry about them daily. Yeah, market is down on Friday, so be it. Market is up today, so be it. You need to have companies where at the back of your mind that yes, the next 1 year, 2 years, 5 years and so on, that the earnings will keep growing. So that will all be in the consumption space where companies have a good return on capital.
Neil, afternoon. Reema here. I wanted to get your thoughts in on DFM Foods, where there was a special situation of sorts. And just for the benefit of our viewers, just to tell them what the DFM Foods special sits was. Advent International is the promoter of DFM Foods, the company which manufactures cracked corn rings. They held about a 74% stake. Advent International had bought into DFM Foods in 2019. Then 6 months ago, Advent International, the promoter of DFM Foods, said that we want to delist the company. And look at the stock price gain in the last 6 months. When the company Advent International announced its delisting plans, the stock price was close to about 200 rupees, way back in June. And after that, it rose to levels of 450. Just till 2 days back, the reverse book building to find out the delisting price, just got concluded, and the discovered price was, I think, 525. The promoters said that this price is not acceptable, and they've come out with a counter offer, which is 467. So the discovered price in the reverse book building for delisting was 525. The promoter Advent said we don't accept it, and they came out with a counter offer 467. Now the question is, will the minority shareholders accept this price, this counter offer from Advent International? Neil, was there any opportunity? Is there still an opportunity in DFM Foods, and how do you see this play out?
So this is exactly what we want to do. These kind of consumption names, when they do a special situation, they kind of give you that margin of safety in your investment book. So we had invested in this and as a disclosure, and we recently exited. Now I think from this point of time to the delisting, I think it's in investors' interest to either accept the counter offer or just sell the shares here and not take that risk that the what if the demerger fails? If the delisting fails from this point of time, the stock may just go back to 200. So this is not a time to be cute here. And it's better to just book the profits, or else whatever the company is offering, you should take it. That's my opinion, and I could be very wrong. But
Neil, so at what price did you get into DFM Foods, and at what price did you exit? And is this should this be the playbook, right? Every time a delisting is announced, buy in as soon as the news is announced, and exit perhaps a couple of months down the line before even the price is discovered?
So it's not that every delisting may work out the way you want it to. You need to have a view on the underlying company. So we had a view on DFM and this sector, because I think in terms of revenue growth, this kind of sector will keep doing good. The 5 rupee, 10 rupee kind of snacking option sector. So we got in as soon as the delisting was announced, and we recently exited. But at this point of time, I'm not thinking that it's offering too much of that margin of safety that you want. For a 10-15% upside, you're risking potentially 30-40% on downside if the delisting fails.
Okay, Neil, tell us about what you've bought then. Let's zoom straight into what kind of what have you done in terms of specific purchases.
I was a little bit upset that the market reversed today. I was hoping that the correction continued for a little more period of time, because there is no point talking about names. The correction was headed to such a zone where most of the good stocks that we target in our watch list, which are around special situations, they were entering mouth-watering levels. So it was just a question of throwing darts at the market, and you would make money over the next 3 to 5 years. So yeah, we bought a few shares. Let's not name the shares, but again, consumption oriented. There are a lot of good things where new promoters are coming in. A lot of good things where demergers have happened, which have led to forced selling, which have gone to really mouth-watering levels. So investors just have to if the correction would have continued, or I hope that it does continue in the next few weeks. We'll get things at such levels where you don't even need to use your mind anymore. Just buy decent companies, and you will make money over a 3 to 5 year period.
So Piramal Pharma was one which I think you've spoken about in the past, right, Neil?
Which one? Sorry.
Piramal Pharma. Correct.
Yeah. So again, I prefer let's not talk about names too much. But yes, we own Piramal Pharma, and according to us, it's a pretty nice company, and due to the demerger, it led to a lot of selling, right? And people thought that the demerger has, the company, that the special situation had been a failure. But on the contrary, what you want to look at is post the special situation, when this kind of sell-off happens. That's when the game really actually begins, and not where it should not be termed as a failure as such.
Okay. Can you just tell our viewers where else is there a special situation opportunity which is currently open?
So what I'll do is I'll not talk about the stocks that we own. I'll talk about things which we have no interest in, and which are something that we are watching.
Opportunities that are there, right? Without saying whether you own it or don't, but at least tell our viewers where is it? What are the special situation opportunities which are available for them in the market?
There is one company called Vadilal Industries, for example, where the promoter is changing, and in my opinion, corporate governance is improving post the deal. And from whatever I understand, from whatever I've read from the publicly available information, this company has really changed, and numbers have started improving. And I think once the promoter change does go through, it's not yet happened, it's something that could happen. Once it goes through, this company could be a real good wealth creator. This is the kind of thing, Vadilal is a household name, and since quality had a big decline, so there's a whole market that is opened up for companies like Vadilal, and they've ventured into exports. The cyclicality from the business has gone away. Better promoters, better corporate governance. I still find the company a little bit expensive at this price. I would personally want to wait for a much more. So that's why I was saying, a little bit earlier, I was hoping that the correction continues. for a few more days so that these kind of companies we could add in our long-term portfolio. But yeah, these are the kind of things we need to focus on. The age-old brands, but in consumer space, largely debt-free companies, return on capital 25, 30, 35%, and a growth runway of many, many years. But the kicker comes from the special situation that the new guys coming in bring better corporate governance and a better hunger for growth.
Right. Just a word on the alcohol space, if you, because you're talking about consumption and rising consumption on rising per capita income. I'm looking at Sula. It listed 3 days ago, and after an initial decline from the issue price, etc., is now finding its feet. It's up around 7.5% in today's trading session. Do you like this name? And if not this, any in the similar industry?
I mean, of course, what you said is right, per capita income and all those things. But we as a fund, we don't look at alcohol, we don't look at gambling, and we don't look at tobacco. So we have no view on Sula.
No view on Sula. Just on Vadilal, do you own it, Neil?
You're talking about Vadilal?
Vadilal.
No, we don't. So I want to talk about things that we don't own.
Okay. All right. No, got that. Because, I mean, it's already up, but it's gone up quite a bit, right? From, I think, 800 started the year to 2,600. This year in 22, it's already gone up, but point taken. Neil, thank you very much for joining us. Good speaking with you. Appreciate you joining in with that perspective.
Thank you so much for your time. Season greetings to you guys.
Same to you from all of us here, Neil. Thank you.